Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. In fact, if you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is A Silent Mystery. And the reason why there can be a silent mystery is because actually on Monday, we are going to be having a wonderful, or actually we just had a wonderful full moon at 7 degrees of Virgo. And Virgo rules the facts, but the number 7 does rule mystery. And there were a lot more planets at that 7th degree. And that is why I think, despite a full view of all the facts concerning a matter in your life, there can still be some sort of mystery about the resolution of a problem in your life right now. And it could get resolved, but you may not know who's doing that, or why, or even how. And that's what the silent mystery is all about. Because that full moon in Virgo at 7 degrees was opposite the sun in Pisces, also at 7 degrees. And together, those two planets were being squared by Jupiter in Gemini at 7 degrees. And then the fourth planet at the 7th degree is Uranus, that planet of sudden change, which is now in Aries. Uranus also rules unusual things and things ahead of their time, and it is in that sign of new beginnings. So there could be some unusual, sudden new beginning also that could be occurring very soon, but there would be a silent mystery connected with that too. And the reason why is that although the full moon was in Virgo, and Virgo rules the traditional 6th house of work and employment and healthcare matters, it was a planet alone by itself, and it was being trined beautifully by Pluto in Capricorn, which means that if someone is very careful about the facts right now and can present them coherently, management would really like that. So people can be looking at their bottom line, they can be looking at their schedules and their plans, and they can certainly be looking at financial considerations, because Virgo rules accounting, and management can be asking for facts and figures right now and looking them over very carefully, but they may really like what they see and appreciate people who are sort of on top of things right now, and that's all to the good. But that full moon in Virgo was being opposed by a lot of planets in Pisces. In fact, it was being overwhelmed by the planets in Pisces. It isn't just the sun at 7 degrees that is opposing that full moon. It is also Venus, which has just gone into Pisces right about now. It's at 0 degrees of Pisces. And Neptune is there, Mercury is there, and so is Mars. So there are 5 planets that oppose that full moon on Monday, which means there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And since Pisces is ruled by the number 7, and Pisces does rule hidden things, that is why there can be a rather silent mystery. We already know there would be a lot of activity behind the scenes, that there's a lot more going on just than the facts that are being exposed right now. And so even if management can really appreciate all the factual information, there could be some emotional consideration going on right now in a rather mysterious way. And yet there can be a lot of emotional stability right now as well. And that is because the 5 planets in Pisces are trining Saturn in Scorpio. And Saturn is at 11 degrees, and it is actually stabilizing all of the planets in Pisces. In other words, people can be asking questions and examining their emotions, but they can be getting some pretty clear answers and fitting how they feel about things into their budgets, because Scorpio is a financial sign. So although there are 4 planets that are at the 7th degree of mystery right now, there are 2 others that are at the 11th degree, which is a very high thinking degree, and it indicates people who have the best intentions for all of humanity, or want to make decisions that can have an effect over a long period of time for a lot of people, and so they want to make good decisions. And that is why, with Saturn at 11 degrees and Pluto in Capricorn also at 11 degrees, somebody can come along who's in a position of authority and base their decision perhaps on the idea of evening the score. So although they may be looking at all the facts and figures, I think the silent mystery is going to involve someone who makes a decision based on righting a wrong. And they may not tell you. In other words, if you have suffered an injustice, something could go right now, but you would not know who was responsible for that or how they did that. So we're just going to have to trust in miracles right now and hope that something really comes out right, because there could be somebody that could really help you out right now behind the scenes, but they wouldn't be telling you about it. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, for you, I think it is you that may go through some surprising change, and that is because that Pluto at 11 degrees of Capricorn is squaring Uranus in your sign at 7 degrees, and that's one of the 4 planets at the 7th degree, which is the degree of mystery. So there could be an unusual occurrence in your life very soon, Aries. It might not be today, but it's coming up. And I can guarantee you, Aries, whether it is some sort of decision that goes against what you want to do, or it's some sort of decision that approves what you want to do, I can guarantee you either way, it will allow you a lot of freedom. And that is what Uranus rules. And so I think in a mysterious way, no matter what is about to occur in your life right now, Aries, you're going to breathe a sigh of relief that you will be having much more freedom than you thought you would have. And besides, there can be a situation in your life right now that is sort of cramping your style. You may be freed from that, Aries, and I think that would make you rather happy, and it would certainly allow you to go on your way and make new beginnings, which is what you're really good at. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is simply a time when you can breathe a sigh of relief yourself, because Venus, your own ruler, used to be squaring your sun sign, and that could have made you feel like nobody loves you. But now, today, in fact, just right about now, Venus has gone into Pisces, and it has joined the 4 other planets in Pisces under that full moon. And although the full moon is opposing all those planets in Pisces, at least there is nothing squaring your sun anymore. And that simply means that if there is some silent mystery going on right now, it can involve people in positions of power that are trying to make some long-term decisions for the betterment of everyone. And that could benefit you, Taurus. And the reason why is that the full moon in Virgo was trining your sun, and Pluto in Capricorn is also trining your sun. So that's great for you. And that simply means that if a decision is made in a silent way and for a somewhat mysterious reason, it could turn out to help you in the long run. I'm not commenting on whether it's a good decision or a bad decision. It can be something that can create misunderstandings and frustration, because there's a lot of planets in those mutable signs squaring and opposing each other. But I think that actually your long-term interests will be enhanced by some sort of decision that is being made right now. And so I don't think you have anything to worry about, Taurus. Okay, what does it mean for a Gemini? Well, Gemini, you do have something to worry about. And the first thing you have to worry about is that you are really on your own right now, Gemini. And that is because there's nothing in the other air signs. There's nothing in Aquarius anymore, because Venus has just moved on and gone into Pisces. And there's also nothing in Libra, because Saturn has left that sign and it is now in Scorpio. So you are really on your own, but you do have Jupiter in your sign, Gemini, which is great. However, it is being sorely challenged right now. The 5 planets in Pisces are squaring Jupiter in your sign, and the full moon in Virgo was also squaring it. And so there can be some misunderstanding or frustration that you are experiencing right now, because not everyone is seeing you the same way. They all have sort of different opinions or different views about you right now, and they can be in a little bit of conflict, and they can be challenging you. So I strongly urge you, since you are on your own right now, Gemini, to go ahead and move forward. Jupiter won't be in your sign after June, and so that means, since your sign does rule change and communication, that you need to move on. And I don't know if it's in a work situation or in a home situation or in a relationship of some sort, but you really do need to move on, and you know it, and you've probably been thinking about that for a while too, Gemini. So now is the time for you all on your own to make some forward moves while you have the luck of Jupiter in your sun sign to help you. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is simply a time when you benefit greatly from a silent mystery. And the reason why is that there can be people around with very high ideals that want to even the score, or right or wrong, or make something work out right now that hadn't worked out in the past and had represented an injustice of one sort or another. I don't think that that happened to you, Cancer, but I think that now, even though no one will know who is responsible for some sort of change right now, or particularly an unexpected change, and they won't know the real reason behind it or how it was done or who did it, still, regardless of the frustration or the misunderstanding around you, Cancer, it's not happening to you. And the reason why is that Saturn in Scorpio is trining your sun, giving you some sort of financial stability somewhere in your life, which is good, and it's long term as well. And also, all 5 planets in Pisces are trining your sun, which means that if somebody makes a decision based more on feelings than on fact, that will be all right with you. In fact, when it is revealed, you probably will say, gee, I wonder why that took so long, and you could be very happy about it. I just don't think it's happening to you, but it sure is happening around you, Cancer, and I think you're going to be in complete agreement with the outcome of a silent mystery right now. All right, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when the pressure can be off you a little bit, and the reason why is because Venus is no longer opposing your sun, which it had been doing for a while, and that is because it has now moved into Pisces and away from your sun sign, which is good. The planet that is trining your sun sign is Uranus in Aries, and since that planet is being first of all, it's at the 7th degree, the degree of mystery, meaning there can be a sudden change that no one would quite understand right now. It can represent a door that could open quite suddenly for you, Leo. Not because you have anything to do with it, though. It can offer you an opportunity to move forward, but that would be because perhaps someone else is leaving, and they may be leaving based on a decision that somewhat evens the score or justifies something or rights or wrong. And so I think that if someone else leaves suddenly, there's going to be an opening, and it would be an advantage to you, Leo. So I hope you step right up and act interested in some new opportunity that is coming up, because it could be the chance of a lifetime for you, Leo. So I hope you're ready to go forward on something. Don't let anything hold you back, because it would be something that would come right out of the blue, and I think the first person in line is the one that's going to get the opportunity. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, that full moon was in your sun sign, which means there could have been a lot of light on you on Monday, Virgo, and that means that everyone can see how dutiful you are and that you're a good finisher. You're somebody who likes to follow through on things, and if you were able to make some sort of coherent presentation that had a lot of facts and figures in it, it could have gone over very well with management. They would have appreciated that. Or it can simply be that people are looking at your record and they can see that even though you don't give yourself much credit for what you do and that you're rather modest, still over time everything adds up, Virgo. And once again, that could be a justification for management to make a decision that could be righting or wrong in some way, not necessarily to you, but it could be balancing things out a little bit better for the good of others and in the long run, and that could certainly enhance your reputation as well, Virgo. So I think that first of all, you have pleased management. And the second thing is, I mean, you would do it even without anybody looking because you really feel quite a sense of duty about being accountable for your actions and being very efficient with your time. So I think that you may be in a line for a promotion, but it would come about in a mysterious way, and you wouldn't exactly know who to thank for that either, Virgo, because decisions are being made behind the scenes and they're not being explained at all, but they should have a good outcome. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is simply a time when if somebody else is making a change for one reason or another, it could cause you to react. And the reason why is that Uranus at 7 degrees in Aries is being squared by Pluto in Capricorn, which means that people in management somewhere are not happy about somebody who has sort of been wanting everything their own way. They aren't going to be able to get that anymore. So if they make a sudden exit, you could have to react to that. For instance, what if they are your partner and they want to go on some sort of new adventure? You may not be able to go with them, Libra. And the reason why is that you have a lot of ties to things as well, and you may not feel as energetic as somebody else who just wants to be a pioneer and sort of take off right now. So there is the possibility, since Jupiter in Gemini is trining your sun, that you will be able to sort of pivot and adapt to a new situation very well. And in fact, you're going to be able to do that clear until the end of June. So for instance, if there was something you had to react to, such as a change in your budget, you might be able to pick up another part-time job of some sort in order to compensate for that. So I wouldn't worry if something throws you a little off balance this week, Libra, because I think you're going to be able to sort of pick up the slack and go on anyway. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, you're in an enviable position right now. There are 2 planets that are at the 11th degree, a very high-minded degree, and one of them is in your sign, Scorpio. It's Saturn. And so I think that since Saturn is now retrograde, that you are going to have a chance to sort of review a lot of things. That full moon in Virgo was sextile your sun, meaning that you could be looking over or reviewing facts and figures, and you could be digesting them a little bit more and thinking things over, and you could decide, that something has got to be set right. Or it can simply be that you can see there's been some sort of wrong somewhere, and you may not be the person who's making the decision to even the score, but you could have a pretty good idea of who is responsible for that. And so even though there is a silent mystery, some unexpected change that happens for a reason we don't know, and is done by somebody that is not saying, not taking credit for it, still you could have an idea of what's behind it all. But because your sign rules secrecy, Scorpio, I don't think you're going to say a word. All 5 planets in Pisces are trining your sun, so I think you can understand the real reason behind something right now, which is emotionally motivated. It's not going to be based on facts, even though we had the full moon in Virgo. So I would say just keep quiet right now, Scorpio, because you may benefit. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, you certainly need to be very cautious right now. And the reason why is that you could be tempted to get right in the middle of a lot of frustration and misunderstandings and sort of be involved in all of that. And that is because there are 7 planets that are all squaring and opposing your sun sign, Sagittarius. And so you can be challenged on all sides right now. It could be by malicious gossip. It could be by smaller changes that people want to make. It could be by a change in plans or schedules right now that could affect you. If you want to get caught up in all of the flow right now of frustration and misunderstandings, you will be participating at a level that will rob you of a really good opportunity. And that's because Uranus, which I think will be set off in this silent mystery, Uranus in Aries, I think there's going to be something wrong with a new start. That planet is trining your sun, Sagittarius. So if something does go wrong with someone else's new start, you could be the next in line, just like Leo, and a door could open for you. But if you're busy getting involved in everyday gossip, you might miss your chance, Sagittarius. That's why you need to be real quiet right now. And just pay attention to what's coming up, not to what's happening in an everyday way. Okay, what does it mean to Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, Pluto is in your sign at 11 degrees, which is a very high degree. And that simply means that it may be you, Capricorn, who is in a position to make a very well-balanced judgment and decision that rights or wrong, or that evens the score. And it might be that you simply decide on something that has to do with high ideals and good long-term policy. And if you step forward and you decide what you're going to do, in other words, you make that decision and you can influence the outcome of something, that's fine. But I have a feeling you're going to keep it to yourself and not take any outward publicity or responsibility for that. And that is because it's a very serious decision that you would have to make. And I think the quieter you are, the more effective it will be. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is simply a time when you can feel some relief because actually there are no planets in your sign at all. And the planets that are in mutable signs, all squaring and opposing each other, are not necessarily affecting your sign. In fact, you could be a little bit lucky, just like Libra, and be able to pivot and sort of change and sort of go with the flow now, Aquarius, because Jupiter in Gemini is still trining your sun. It is under duress right now. You really can't count on being able to pick up and do whatever you want. You may have to settle for a little less right now, Aquarius, particularly a little less money since Saturn is squaring your sun, but still you are going to be able to adapt to a sudden change if it should occur. Thank heavens. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces, this is simply a time when there can be a silent mystery and you may really be involved in it, Pisces. Not in making the decision about what to do with something, but it can simply be with 5 planets in your sun sign, Pisces, all backed up by Saturn in Scorpio, that you have enough confidence and emotional and some financial support behind you that you can be very, very sure of what you want to do in an ideal situation. You could want the best for everyone right now, Pisces, and that's because Venus just came into your sun sign and is conjunct Neptune. So I think that you may want to sort of turn over a new leaf, and you may want to start out on the right foot as you go forward, and you may want to leave your enemies behind right now. I think you're going to get a little help with that, Pisces, because someone's going to make a decision about righting or wrong, and that will simply set something it will make something fair again, and that could help everyone. So I think that you're on to something new right now, Pisces, and if you have to leave the shadows of your past behind you, I think that that will bring you a great deal of relief. And even if there's a mysterious decision that you don't understand and some miracle occurs, I think you should just say a little prayer of thanks and go forward anyway. All right, thanks for tuning in. I think that we are in anticipation of another new moon that's coming up soon, and it is the new moon in Pisces that will originate in March, and there will be 6 planets in Pisces all trining that Saturn in Scorpio. So now is a time when a silent mystery and a decision can be made, but you may see the effect of it next month in March, which signifies a turning point in all of our lives. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week. Bye.